Hey y'all, welcome back to my live broadcast. I'm Shanta Prince, and I help coaches build their personal brands, create high ticket offers, and get paying clients. So, this week, I just want to talk to you about how to serve your audience right now because there's so much going on in the world, and lots of people have questions about how to serve their audiences, how to make money, and all the things around just trying to work through tumultuous times. So, one thing I can say for sure is that when times are turbulent, the one thing that you want to do is the first thing is you want to maintain what you can about your routine as far as your routine is concerned. And the reason why maintaining your routine as best you can is super important is because if the times are turbulent, then we've got something to hold on to that's actually stable. And that is our routines. For example, when things get hectic in your life, whatever routine you have established, do your best to keep that routine going. So if you work out every morning, continue working out every morning. So maintaining the things that you can control makes a huge difference during turbulent times. And that's pretty much what I'm getting at when it comes to serving your audience right now. So, for example, if you've been creating content every single week, then continue creating content every single week to serve your audience. So, you want to maintain as much as your routine as you can. Now, I will tell you that some things do change when times are tumultuous. Some things do change. One thing that changes is how people spend their money. So if you go and if you look back at any of the times that we've had, most recently, and even before that. So let's talk about COVID because that's something that we can all relate to. We've all been through some experiences with COVID, and so we know that when this pandemic first started, that they were spending money, but what were what were people spending their money on? Let me know in the comments if you're watching me live, or even if you're watching the replay. What were people spending their money on during COVID? So for me, I know that I stocked up on a lot of things before it even happened. I just had a sense that something was getting ready to happen, so I started stocking up in advance. So a lot of the things that people were buying, I had already stocked up on. So for example, you can't really say, well, people stopped spending money during COVID. That wasn't true because they really just started spending their money on something else, spending their money differently. So one of the things that people struggled with during COVID was finding toilet tissue. I know you guys remember, and there was some other things that it was a struggle to find during COVID because people were panic buying, and they were buying in bulk. And so what happens is, I know like where I live, if there's a snowstorm coming, or if there's not necessarily a snowstorm, but any mention of snow coming, people go to the store, and I don't know why, but they stock up on eggs, bread, and milk. And so for me, I was born in Chicago. I grew up in the Midwest. So for me, excuse me, a snowstorm for me is like really not that big of a deal, but in the South, it is because most people have never driven on snow. And if they have, they're not really that good at it. So when it snows, I stay in the house because I'm like, these people do not know how to drive on snow. So I will stay at home. But when there's when times are tumultuous, or when there's fear, people don't stop buying, they just buy differently. Like they change what they're buying. And so as a business person, that's something that you really have to understand is understand why what people are buying right now. So if you're running your business and you're like, oh my goodness, this program that I had is not selling the way that it used to, then you have to figure out what is selling and what will sell right now. And I would encourage you by all means to continue selling. I've seen this debate so many different times among entrepreneurs. Should I be selling right now? Should I be doing this right now? You absolutely should be. You should be selling, and you should continue the things that you've been doing in your business. Because at the end of the day, when we think about it, we'll look at other stores like, Walmart and Target, and they're still open, they're still functioning, people are still shopping. But then when it comes to our businesses, then we're questioning whether or not we should still be selling. Yes, we absolutely should be selling, because guess what? People still have problems that need to be solved, right? And we're problem solvers, we're life changers, and lives still need to be changed, problems still need to be solved every single day. And guess what? People are still buying. So yes, you should absolutely still be selling because people are still buying. So, how to serve your audience right now. So, a couple of things. First thing is, and I've been talking about this for a little while now. The first thing is you really want to make sure whatever it is you're talking about, whatever it is, whatever your message is, you want to make sure that your messaging is lined up with your audience. And here's how you can do that. The first thing is, when I talk about alignment, I mean, you want to make sure your messaging is aligned with your audience and it lines up with what you want your brand to represent. Okay. So when you have defined your brand, and when your messaging, when you've got your brand messaging on point, then you understand who you are, what you offer, in exactly what it is that you do. So after you do that, then you should not be putting out anything that doesn't align with your brand, right? So your messaging, your products, your content, everything that you put out needs to be in alignment with what you want your brand to represent, okay? The other thing that you want to check for is anything that you put out or create, you want to make sure is relevant to your audience. And that's the point that I really wanted to focus on, is making sure what content you're sharing and what offers you're making sure they're relevant to what people need right now. And so some simple ways to do that is to think about what it is that you offer that can help people right now. All of us have something that we can that we do, some gift or something that we can offer to help people right now. It's not hard to look around and see what most people are feeling and experiencing, okay? If you take the time to really think about what can I offer my audience right now. So for example, when I talk to I talk to my audience, I talk to my ideal clients on a regular basis. And so one of the things that I started to discover was that a lot of them were like losing their jobs, and we understand what happened with the Great Resignation. So my ideal clients were experiencing having some experiences from the Great Resignation where they were losing their jobs or being moved around. So the Great Resignation and the Great Reshuffle, right? And so that posed some difficulty to people, and they told me, they said, well, Shanta, I really want to work with you, but right now I can't commit to a 12-month program because I don't know what my money is going to be looking like in the next week, because things are just changing really quickly for me. And so because of that, I started to understand, okay, let me think about what I can offer to my audience right now to serve them right where they are. And so I started to offer things that were perfect for them. Those who are like, I want to invest because I need the support to get my business where I want it to be, but I can't commit to 12 months right now because I don't know what my future is looking like. So I started to offer shorter things that people can invest in and still get an amazing amount of value. Okay. And so that's just what I mean by making sure you're offering things that are relevant to where your ideal clients are at right now. If you don't know what to offer, then you ask them. Ask your audience what they're looking for, what they need right now. That is the fastest way to find out, is by asking them. Okay. So making sure everything that you're offering is aligned with your brand, and from your content all the way down to your offers. Okay, making sure it's aligned with your brand and aligned with what your audience is looking for. The other thing is you want to make sure your content and your offers are relevant to right now. And relevant just means it's something that's current with the times. It's current with the times. And things that are current with the times are things that can help people right now. So think about this, for example. What kind of content do you share or do you put out that you can shift the messaging in that content and make it great for right now? Okay. Like for example, the title of this video is how you can serve your audience right now. That is a relevant topic because right now people are asking, well, should I keep selling, or how should I do this, or how should I do that? Should I still be creating content? Should I still be doing this? Yes, you absolutely should. You should maintain your routine, But one thing that you have to do is really take a step further and find out what your people need from you. That is how you're going to thrive during this time. You really got to find out what your people need from you right now. And it's just as simple as asking. I asked my audience, for those of you who are watching me from the Facebook group, I asked, hey, what would you want me to teach if you got on an affordable workshop with me? And you guys told me, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, and I want to learn that. That's how I know what to offer, because when I ask you guys, you give me feedback and you tell me exactly what it is that you want. If you don't have an audience yet, if you haven't started growing your audience yet, just go connect with people who are your ideal clients and ask them. Ask them what kind of information. Just let them know, hey, I'm doing a little bit of market research right now. I'm trying to find out what kind of content and products and services to create and offer. Would you mind giving me a few minutes of your time so I can ask you a few questions about your experience with, and then you fill in your niche. But you'll be surprised how many people are willing to share with you or give you some ideas based on where they are. So you should be serving your audience. So I mentioned this on one of my pages the other day about how this is the time to really be in action. This is not the time to draw back in fear, because I know that the times can be really scary, but this is not the time to draw back in fear. This is the time to rise up in service and serve your people. Okay. So if you are interested, I have a few things coming, a few exciting things coming up. As a matter of fact, one of the exciting things that I have coming up is I'm building out a brand new funnel. So I thought about this right before I went live. I don't know if I'm wearing the same thing that I had on last Thursday. Now I got to go back and look, because when I was getting ready to go live, I was like, I think I had this same thing on last Thursday when I went live. That's because I'm recording for my funnel and I want the videos to be cohesive, because they're the videos that are going to be on the front of each of my funnel pages. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I need to put on the same dress that from when I recorded the first video. So if I'm wearing the same thing, I promise I did not pre-record your video. I'm actually live right now. It's just that I'm recording. And I think I was recording last Thursday at this time too. I think when I finished going live last week, I actually recorded the video for the first part of the funnel. So after I finish with you guys, I'm about to go and record the other part of my funnel. You guys, my dog is trying to force me to rub him. This is Biscuit, and he's sometimes he's a little feisty. So if he barks or something like that, then I'm just letting you know he's here. But he's forcing me to rub his head right now. Y'all know how dogs, like, they'll push their head into your hand. That's what he's doing right now. He's a little spoiled. But anyway, so I'm building out this funnel and I'm having a blast doing it. I was just on a call with one of my clients, and we were talking about how both of us are really techie. Like, she builds websites, and she's really awesome at it. But I have the ability to build websites. Is not something that I do for people, but I do have the ability to build websites, but I don't necessarily do it as a service, but I enjoy the technical aspects of it. So we were just talking about all of the techie things that go into building a funnel and how fun it is to do those kinds of things. So I'm really enjoying the process of building out a funnel. And this is something that I also plan to teach my clients on how to build out a funnel so that they can have something that's automated that brings them leads on a consistent basis, and something that they can use to introduce new people to their brand without them actually being present. And so funnels can be very powerful. But I wasn't I wasn't going live today to talk about funnels, but I'm just saying that if I happen to have on the same thing this week that I did last week, it's because I'm building on my funnel. So that's one thing that I've got coming up. I've got a brand new funnel coming up, and I'll be sending you guys access to it as soon as it's finished, which will be in the next couple of days or so. It's basically a product that I'm selling, and it's going to help you to create 90 days of authority building content. And it basically will walk you through step by step how to create your next 90 days of authority building content. Now, there's a difference between content and content that builds authority. So the way that this funnel is structured is that the product that I'm selling in the funnel is structured is that it's going to help you to create content that builds your authority as a coach, mentor, or consultant so that people can see you as a trusted expert and so that you can close more sales. Because many times, the reason why people are not investing is because they don't see you as an expert yet. Okay. And there's a very strategic way to position yourself as a trusted expert. That is what this funnel is going to help you to accomplish. So I'll be sharing that very soon. Usually, the first place where I share something new is in my Facebook group. So that's what the whole reason why I was telling you this, that I have some things coming up. So if you're not in my Facebook group, if you're watching me on LinkedIn or YouTube or on my Facebook page, come on over to the Facebook group. It's Purpose Driven Coaches and Mentors. And that is usually where, if I share anything, a lot of times it's hitting the group first. So if you want to be the first to know about everything that I've got coming out, come on over and join us inside of the Purpose Driven Coaches and Mentors group. And I'll be happy to connect with you there. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Someone just reached out to me this morning from my page, and I responded pretty quickly. So I'm usually Facebook Messenger is the fastest way to reach me, because that's how I help my clients when they're navigating through things, or when they're trying to close a sale, or when they're having a sales conversation. I'm in the messages helping them to navigate through those. So that's the fastest way to reach me, is because like my eyes are always on my messages for them. So if you have a question about anything that I've talked about, or if you have a specific topic that you want to learn more about, feel free to reach out to me. I'm very approachable, and I check all of my own messages. So feel free to reach out. Let me know if there's something that you want to hear about, or if you have any questions. Other than that, come on over to the Facebook group and join us. All right, you guys, I will see y'all next week at the same time. I go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. So I'll be back next Thursday to talk to you guys more about all things branding and business for coaches and mentors. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all next week.